Okay, next, let's look at the regulation of partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood. Regulation of partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood. This is very important. If imagine what happens if carbon dioxide increases in the blood. Okay, do you still remember the nature of carbon dioxide? Is it neutral, acidic, or alkaline? So what will happen if this is in excess in the blood? So it has to be regulated. So this is related to breathing. Breathing is an involuntary action, and you know that it is controlled by medulla oblongata. It is regulated by the respiratory center, which is in the medulla oblongata. So the respiratory control center will help to maintain homeostasis by controlling the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood. Now this is the brain. So you see this is the respiratory center, the blue one. So that means this is the medulla oblongata. We have the cerebrum, we have the cerebellum. Do you remember their function? If you have forgotten, you might need to go back to the respective chapter. And now we'll be looking at medulla oblongata, the blue one here, and that is the respiratory center. Also, we have the peripheral chemoreceptors. So now we're talking about this partial pressure of carbon dioxide. So it is the chemical factors. So that's why here you have this word of chemo. It comes from the word chemical. Now this is the heart, and you can see this aortic body here at the aorta arched, and you can see the baroreceptor. Right, you can see the carotid body. Okay, so at the carotid artery over here. So what is this about? So let's look at it. During vigorous activity, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide will increase. This is the condition. Okay, because of cellular respiration. Okay, when you're doing vigorous activity, more carbon dioxide is being produced because you are actively undergoing this respiration. Hence, what will happen is that the carbon dioxide which dissolves in the blood plasma to form carbonic acid. Now, this is the pathway, right? You might need to go back to the respective chapter as well. We've discussed about this equation. So carbonic acid is broken down. Now this is first we say carbon dioxide react with water in the presence of an enzyme. Okay, so it forms carbonic acid, and it is broken down into hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions. Okay, so next is that this pH value of blood and the tissue fluid that flood the brain, so that means that is surrounding the brain, and the fluid is called the cerebrospinal fluid, will decrease. pH decrease, meaning it is now acidic because of these hydrogen ions. Okay, next what will happen is the change in pH will be detected by the central chemoreceptor, and that is the medulla oblongata, because there has got sensory cells that are sensitive to chemicals, and peripheral chemoreceptors in the neck, and that is the carotid body and the aortic body. Okay, so you refer the carotid body and the aortic body. The aortic body and the carotid body. So what is these two things? Later on we'll be looking at it. So what will happen is that the change in pH will cause the nerve impulse to be triggered, and it will be sent to the respiratory control center as well as the cardiovascular control center, and that is in the medulla oblongata. Okay, so next, nerve impulse being sent to the intercostal muscles, the diaphragm, and the cardiac muscles to ensure that the contraction to cause the contraction of the cardiac muscles, contraction and relaxation to happen at a higher rate. So the breathing rate, the heart rate, the ventilation rate will increase, and this causes more carbon dioxide to be able to be expelled from the lungs. That's why you're gasping when you're doing vigorous exercise, to chung up, because you're actually wanted to get rid of this carbon dioxide from your body. Okay, otherwise the pH of the blood will be acidic. So in this manner, in this way, it will be able to regulate the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the pH, the blood pH, to regulate it well so that it goes back to the normal level. Okay? Now, you may need to look at this a few times, but the concept, I hope you have got it clear. First, you need to know the center that is involved, the chemoreceptors, the equation, what will happen when there is a lot of carbon dioxide, what is the pathway, how does this carbon dioxide get into the blood, how is it affecting the pH of the blood, and how is it sending signals to the brain to ensure that these carbon dioxides are expelled from the lungs at a higher rate. Okay, notice here that it says respiration control center, and not only respiratory control center, but the cardiovascular control center as well. Okay, because the intercostal muscles, diaphragms, these are under here, respiration, and the cardiac muscles, the cardiovascular center.